It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. Off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego die the politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my ego, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my ego diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego die the politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This man not the office.
Hello there.
Mayegun la wa mo la mo to do.
Mayegun diary,
Mayegun la wa mo la mo to do.
Mayegun diary,
Mayegun ti de o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun, and this is Sunday Sermon live.
Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary,
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary,
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary,
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary,
Mayegun diary politico.
Mayegun diary,
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary,
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o, kẹ́gọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary,
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary,
Thank you. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. It is Sunday Sermon, yeah? Share this.
Mayegun ti dé, ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Mayegun ti dé,
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Mayegun ti dé,
Lórí Facebook,
Mayegun ti dé,
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láti.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láti.
Máyégún ti dé.
They have started again, not that they ever stopped, but it is indeed getting out of hand. Religion, Nigerians and religion. Those who love to fight for Allah or fight for God, and they live their own fight for God. But the ridiculous ones are those who are setting rules according to their religion. But out of all the rules, which mostly are associated with violence, in all these rules, the ones that should be paramount to them, good life, good governance, improved life, so to say, a kind of law that will frown at all the things that has kept them poor and poor. Religion, we are back today. You should share this.
Ó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láti. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láti.
A lot of you, I don't know if you have heard this or you have seen it yet. It is what is currently trending. And the individuals involved. Let me give you the backstory. Okay? Yesterday or 2 days ago, Davido, at least you all know Davido, Abi? So Davido tweeted a sort of a snippet from his new musical video from one of his new acts. And from that video, there were dancers who dressed like Muslims, okay? And they were praying, like pray, do that. After that, they started dancing. The moment the video got on social media, it enraged a section of the country. Those who kind of felt so angry that Davido insulted Islam. Now, Davido is lucky. He's a superstar, popular, rich. Therefore, these religion fanatics, they will not be able to kind of touch him. But it didn't stop them from sending the usual threats. And that is what will be the base for this conversation today. And just a quick caveat. For those of you who are very religious, those of you, I'm talking about religious, so Christians, Muslims, Babalawo, Mamalawo, or any other practice or any other religion that you practice, this broadcast is not targeted at your religion or your faith. Okay? Because your faith is yours. We want to address a social malady. We want to address some social menace. We want to address the social, also should we say, the coven of terrorism, the terrorists themselves, hiding behind religion, setting up boundaries in a country that is expected to be, or that is multi-religious. So now, having said that, there is no way I'm going to say all I'm going to say, that if you are one of those fanatics, even if you are a closet one, the ones that hide and pretended to be not them, I'm talking about those of you who are still hiding your own fanaticism because of religion. What I'm going to say may eventually touch you because you may find yourself in all these scenarios I am going to paint. Few weeks ago, probably 2 or so weeks ago, I did a program on the issue of religion and how much of destruction and ruin, including poverty, backwardness, that religion has brought to the black race, especially Nigerians. I said that. And why did I say that? I explained at the time the relationship between politicians, pastors, prophets, clerics, politics, and the people. I explained their relationship and how they kind of thrive very well in a space like Nigeria, where people have more faith in what God can come and do than what their government can do or should do. Now, when you have a country that is sort of being run on superstition, religion, where religion takes center stage, of course, the kind of things you are witnessing in Nigeria today are obviously synonymous. Nigerians are those who have so much faith in religion that I have observed when you look at those who are Christians in Nigeria, the fanatic, ignorant ones, when they disagree with you, they have somebody they call on. That is their God, the God of vengeance. Their whole warning is that be very careful, because their God can destroy you because of what you are just saying right now. Watch your mouth, because you know something. God can quickly destroy you or he can kill you. That's about them, those ignorant fanatics who are Christians. You see those ones who are Muslims? The fanatic jihadists, especially from northern Nigeria and some part of southern Nigeria, especially as well, Yoruba land. Their own fanaticism is beyond waiting for God to punish you or destroy you. They will do it themselves. And they call it blasphemy. Now, somebody was sharing their view. I'm a Yoruba man, and I'll continue to remind you of that. The reason is because if we're given choices, there's possibility, like there is possibility that I will not have to share a country with people who find joy in killing their own fellow humans, burning them into ashes because they insulted a prophet of their religion. I will probably not be sharing a country with them. That's why I want to be very clear. I am a Yoruba man. And from where I come from, where we have Yorubas who are also practicing all of their religion and beliefs, I grew up in that same environment. An environment whereby you can be a Muslim, you can be a Christian, and you can be anything you want to be, and you are free. The Muslims in Yoruba land, they just want to worship their God. Yeah? Give zakat. That is, giving, what is, sort of alms. Zakat. They want to go to the Hajj. They want to have their own gold teeth to show that they have been to Hajj and they have performed one of the 5 pillars of Islam. They just want to do that. Enjoy their life. Pray 5 times a day as normal. They are not interested in fighting for Allah in a way that they will become terrorists. Or, you know what I mean? Enablers of terrorism in the name of defending Allah and prophets. Unfortunately, we now have the Yorubas. They just haven't started killing people yet. But we already have them sending the same threats to their fellow Nigerians or fellow Yorubas because of their faith or their belief. Like I said, in their own world, violence is like something that is normal. In fact, there are those who have accepted that. They will tell you, don't try this in northern Nigeria. Don't dress like this in northern Nigeria. Don't try what you just tried now in northern Nigeria, because they know what will happen. Violence that includes death. You know what I mean? Death. As a Yoruba man, growing up in a very peaceful, like a live and let live environment, one guy was sharing his story in this whole thing, and he said that while he was in school, one day he was cleaning his room that he shared with his course mates, who happened to be his roommate, and who was also like a Muslim. Now, he was cleaning the house. He, as a Christian, he was cleaning the room. And while cleaning the room, the Quran, right? He moved the Quran, put it on the table, okay? And while cleaning and cleaning, he now put another book on the Quran on that table. The guy, is a roommate who happened to be a Muslim, walked in. And when he saw that, what did he do? He just called him and he said, bro, it's not good to put anything on the Quran, okay? So I'm sorry that I actually left it just in the open. But next time, please help me put it where you don't have to put anything on it. And it was just like that, no issue. So the guy was kind of sharing his own experience, and he said, if that was in northern Nigeria, it would have turned to a charcoal. They would have probably burned him. And that is the Nigeria we are sharing today. So when Davido shared a musical video that depicts those who dress like Muslims, Davido, who happened to be a Christian or maybe a Muslim, comes from a family where Muslims and Christians coexist and they practice their faith, like without any kind of animosity. The young guy that actually sang the song, the artist that Davido was promoting, happened to be a Muslim himself. You have seen musical videos of Ja Elo Elo, Ja Elo Elo. You have seen them depicted different faiths or religion in their musical videos, right? And you haven't I haven't seen anything on record where people have been threatened that they will be killed if they step their foot in a certain part of Nigeria. Now, people are now asking that if posting videos or saying something about Islam can get you killed, okay? What does that your own Islam, especially from northern Nigeria, what does that your own Islam say you should do to those who are kidnapping and raping children? Those who are selling off women, children as sex slaves in the name of terrorism up north. What does that your own Islam tells you about terrorism that has completely destroyed northern Nigeria? How come your own Islam does not frown at alimajirin, out of school children, poverty, and even corruption, including your corrupt criminal leaders? I'll share some screen with you. Or sorry, I'll share my screen with you and share some expression, with you on this. Thank you very much, the special one. Let me bring that up. Somebody just used the AI or GPTs, as he said. The special one. Give me a sec. I won't put them on the screen. Anyway, so people are asking, if you are this so angry, how come that terrorism didn't upset you? Terrorists, they put Nigeria on the map. as one of the most terrorized countries in the world. You are not angry. The poverty around you made Nigeria the poverty capital of the world. You are not angry. You saw your criminal politicians looting your resources, looting your money. You are not angry. Islam is not angry at that. Your Islam, Abi, Gandola was pocketing dollars, a kickback from government contract that he awarded. You are not angry. You are praising them. Bokwari destroyed northern Nigeria further, took Nigeria 20 years backward. That didn't enrage you. A musical video suddenly is a big threat to Islam. But here is something just to, to bring us 1 second though, to further help this illustration. And that is the horrible, horrible, horrible things. The threat upon threat. And I am just like, hello, are you still in Nigeria or Nigeristan? Like, who are these people? At a point, one weary even said, Yorubas, they need to put Islam before their culture. Omo, I probably don't even know how to react to that, other than just to feel like, what? But that's exactly the push. The push is that the number one, religious supremacy, something that played out during their charade election. Are you with me? But I kind of love the fact that a lot of people are actually reacting as expected. Look at this. So these are children whose future has been mortgaged, as you can see. And they are in their millions. I'm talking about 20 million out of school children holding bowls like this every day. And from this year is where the recruitment for Boko Haram, Fulani terrorists, and the rest of them is swap. This is where they make all their recruitment. This did not enrage these lunatics. This guy is a Muslim. I am talking about Yakubu Mumudu. Yakubu Mumudu rigged an election that also thrown Nigeria into serious chaos as we speak right now, confusion, that he forced a druggie on Nigerians is a Muslim. What does your Islam say about rigging elections? Rigging election for druggies. Somebody said, Muslims who are also sharing in the hardship, facilitated by another Muslim chairman, okay, did not enrage them. They seem so like lost. Now, part of what kind of make people feel like, what did they happen? Look at this one. We Muslims will never tolerate such disrespects. Islam teaches us how to respect each other's religion. Is either Davido come out and apologize, or we will forever be waiting for his foot here in the north. What would they do to him if they see him in northern Nigeria? Would they kill him for disrespecting their religion? Sure, you get. A lot of you are asking, what are they doing in the same country with these kind of people? That is why people are asking that all of you can have what you want, all of us, okay? You can decide to live in northern Nigeria as a country, or if they choose to call it Arewa or Arewanistan, whatever they want to call it, there are just 12 of them. Are you with me? 12. And out of the 12, only 5 of them are called jihadists. So in this case, if Nigeria break, this is the song, this is the musical clip. You could probably see that on your screen. Let me see. Yeah. This is this musical, the snippet shared by Davido. Now, this is what upsets them. And the guy is called Losi Olori or something. Yeah? This is the song. And if it wasn't Davido, it would have been Death Fatwa. And this fanaticism, like I said, people who have energy, they have strength to fight for Allah. And then when it comes to their own fights, they will leave it for Allah. And there's another part, okay? And that is the part where violence is actually something they cherish and threaten people with. We will do this to you if you don't obey what we say to you. If you don't do what we say you should do, we can even kill you. Okay. The other day we were having a chat about Ilorin and the terrorists that are brewing in Ilorin. Those who are speaking Yoruba and are claiming that they are not Yorubas. I think that was last week or so. They banned Isheshe festival in Yoruba land. They said Ilorin is not Yoruba land. And those who were saying this, they were speaking Yoruba fluently. So a lot of people reacted and they said, well, historically, Ilorin, and especially the entire Kwara, is Yoruba land. But unfortunately, Alimi versus Afonja, the long story, where Fulani came down to come and help him fight the Oyo warriors that wanted to get him punished for disobeying the order of Alaafin and needing some people to declare his own independence of Alaafin. Afonja called Alimi, who is a Fulani, to come and help him fight. And what happened? Fulani defended Ilorin, and in their share, they inculcate the culture partially, especially the language. Historically, history after history, how Ilorin became a caliphate, how Yorubas, who are indigenous people of Ilorin, have become second-class citizens, even though they will dissent. They don't like hearing that, okay? But it's true. That you cannot even crown any Oba, Yoruba Oba, in Ilorin. They have 5 emirates. They call it emirates, 5 local government areas. And those 5 local government areas, they are Fulani areas. They speak Yorubas. They bear Yoruba names with Fulani names. And in fact, they have an emir, which is the paramount ruler of the entire Kwara, I think. So this emir, who also bear Yoruba name and the Fulani name, so they have a caliphate, or they have 5 emirates. 5 emirates. And those who are Yorubas in these places, they are considered as those who have been conquered as under the emirate. To appoint any Oba, the emir must approve that. Emir of Ilorin. Emir of Ilorin. It's historically like, that's how we were born into it too. I was born into it. It happened as far back as 1807. Can you believe that? 19th century. That was when that happened. Though. People who have been there before then, they ended up being seconded to this day. So, and because of this conquering of Ilorin, the religion adopted is Islam. And because this Yoruba land that has now become a caliphate or emirate does not want anything to do with Yoruba or Yoruba culture or tradition or religion. No way. And they are not playing. If you are not going to, if you want to argue with them, they will kill you. Who will kill you? Yoruba Lando. Don't laugh at us. It's not something that is actually really funny. It's not part of our history that we are proud of, sincerely speaking. We are not proud of this. And that is why we are saying there should be this conversation about Nigeria. Or else, we are just existing for the sake of existing, just for existing's sake. Okay? No rights, no human right, no nothing. It's really guaranteed us, despite who we are. Nigeria doesn't give us anything. So this Ilorin, that where they are speaking Yoruba, where Yoruba tradition and culture is frowned upon. Something happened 2 days ago. After they threatened the traditionalists from celebrating their own festival because Islam does not want it and is not welcome in the Emirates. Okay? And a lot of people came out and they said it's because Ilorin is a little genus, not to Somali Jono. You know, Ilorin is far from hellfire and it is very close to paradise. That's what they tell them. Religion, fanatism. Here you get. Intolerance, threats of violence. And this was supposed to be for religion of peace. Islam is religion of peace. Islam is religion of peace. From terrorists, you. And guess those who will give you the vibe of a peaceful Islam. I'll give you some names. When you go to Saudi Arabia, you will kind of want to be a Muslim, sincerely. If you go to United Arab Emirates, you kind of would love to be a Muslim. Live and let live. If you come to Yoruba land, of course, and it's true, you will love to be a Muslim. Go and verify. So those are the people that will give you the vibe of Islam is a religion of peace. Once you start going up north and you have a stopover in Kwara, you'll begin to understand a different kind of Islam that these terrorists, these religious opportunists, these fraudsters, these manipulators and liars, bunch of criminals hiding behind religion, Islam will begin to make another difference, or will begin to mean something different to you, because he'll begin to come with some warnings. And all these warnings have violence, attachment, intolerance. So somebody tweeted, one way retweeted, it is time for Yorubas to put Islam before their culture. And I trust the Yorubas, even those who are Muslims. They didn't wait for that to get cold in order to tell these wearies, oh, Nikure, we don't want your kind of imported Abrahamic whatever religion. Yorubas are not daft. Yorubas won't be manipulated by religion, at least not en masse, not this way. For Yorubas to begin to drop what actually makes us Yorubas. And this is what they mean when they say, put Islam before Yoruba culture, and you want peace. Nah, it's not gonna happen.
What you suffer? What you suffer? What suffer? Ah, kí ló dé? Má bọ̀. Má bọ̀. Gbé kalẹ̀. tó bá gbé kalẹ̀. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Tí tọ́lọ́kọ rẹ̀. Kàámà kẹ́kẹ́kọ́. Ẹ máa pẹ́ yín náà máa pẹ́ ìkọlẹ̀ ní lọ́rin yìí só ti yé. Ṣẹ́rí báyìí. Ìdíjì lọ́rin yìí. Ìtà ṣe lọ́rin ni. Sítà ṣe lọ́rin ni. Ẹni díjì lọ́rin, sítà ṣe lọ́rin ni. Ẹni díjì lọ́rin, mo léyìn lọ́rin. Ó dáa, sítà ṣe lọ́rin ni. Ó tún ní díjì lọ́rin ni ọ́. Sórí báyìí nìsín. Yín bá kíní ìhùn jẹ́ máa yín lọ́wọ́. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ó yẹ kú ọmọ ẹ̀. Ẹ gbọ́ ni. Ó yẹ kú ọmọ ẹ̀. Ṣé gbọ́rọ̀ ni? Ìyá ọlọ́sùn. Subhanallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Ẹ wò wọ́n o. Ẹ gbọ́rọ̀ bí? Yé máa fọ́ yín lọ́kọ̀ mi jẹ́ wáyé ní sí o. Subhanallah.
Did you see that? So much for religion of peace. Or so much for your religion of peace. This is Ilorin. What are you doing here? Well, even if you are if you are from if you are an indigene of Ilorin, if you are from this place, is this the religion we worship? Is this the faith we follow in Ilorin? That's what he's saying in that video. I will stone you. And the were was speaking Larubawa. Awusu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Awusu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Awusu billahi minash shaitani rajim is saying, Misa Tani, you know, the one that the Christians also will say. Misa Tani. That is God. Separate me from Satan. Separate me from Satan. That is what he is saying in Larubawa. Awusu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Awusu billahi minash in a Yoruba man in Ilorin. Religion. See how tensed it sounded. Did you see how angry he was? Because it felt like his religion is coming under attack. Because some people are also practicing their own faith according to their belief. Did you see that? Somebody like that is never angry that way, that basic things of life are denied them in that same Ilorin. Life, generally jobs and the rest of that are luxury. He is never going to get that angry, ever. And the anger of religion in them, the threat of violence all the time, tells you a lot of what is wrong with Nigeria. You have pastors, prophets, clerics, imams, politicians, and then the people and their policies. When politicians, when they squeeze the people, right? When they strangle them, and the entire country and the people are going through hell created by these criminals, politicians, the confused people are totally from left, right, and center. They are bombarded by fortune tellers. Bombarded by people who can make their life all suddenly better if they can follow this faith, if you can follow that faith, if you can do this, if you can do that. In that state of mind, of that confusion, road to poverty, they say they found salvation I found salvation. I finally became a Muslim. And I started my life. I started studying. I finally became a born again. Because someone somewhere is telling them that it is time for them to move closer to God, not for them to review the criminals that are putting them down, politicians. So rather than people to figure out how to fight back those who are sending them into the bottom barrel of existence, those who are turning them into poverty, those who are, in fact, destroying the generations, the life of families, the future of the generations, even yet unborn. Those who are here, their futures have been mortgaged. Those who are not here, once they get born, they join the rank because they have also mortgaged their own future too. People cannot think and fight because somebody somewhere, some building somewhere is telling them that they should continue to talk to a sky daddy that is going to come and change their life from what those criminals have made them. They create all the monsters, all the evil, or every negative thing they can plant in your head and your mind, and they give you a book. They said, if you believe this and this, your problem is resolved. So rather than people to become critical thinkers, they became zombies, prayer warriors. They started asking God for what they could actually undo themselves. No thanks to the religious houses that keep telling them to pray for the criminals that are hell-bent in destroying them anyway. Do you understand the connection now? The religion that has become the life and death of the zombies in Nigeria, those who are willing to fight for God, but they are so weak, so unintelligent, so powerless to face the monsters in flesh that are making their lives miserable and the life of their children miserable. They are so weak and tired. How do you think that came by? Politicians, pastors, prophets, clerics, religion, and politics, and policies. Those came together, and the people, the center of it, you. Now you have to pray so that your leaders can do the right thing. Do you think that happened by they conditioned you starting from your birth? I have said this many times. A lot of you don't even kind of understand this, that consciously or subconsciously, the social conditioning that has kind of make it easier for these criminals to last this long in misruling, dividing, looting Nigeria has always been with us from our cradle, and most unfortunately, it follows a lot of us to our grave. Let me explain that in case if it's sounding sort of confusing. Don't be confused. They have implanted this imaginary God in our mind that could do a lot of things if we ask him to do them. And as good as that is for those who are very much religious and faithful, but what you didn't notice is that the social conditioning started, right, from our cradle. How? First, we're told it is ungodly, okay, to sort of challenge the adults, even if they are doing something wrong, or even if they are lying. It is against God. And therefore, you don't want to offend God as a little kid. So you what? And you don't want to offend God by offending the adults. Then after that, they choose for us. Mubarak, you are a Muslim. Allahu Akbar. Zacchaeus, you are a Christian. Praise God. So they choose for us. Now, after choosing for us, they started teaching us what their puppet religious leaders from their different folks, what they are also passing down to those who are like below them, and until they got to us, until it got to our parents. Normalizing abnormalities started from those stages as well, right? Fear of God. For what? Fear of God is there implanted. They say do good, but you also remember, same people who told you that doing good is very good, you have seen them done horrible things, and you were told, if you therefore make it an issue as a little kid, you are endangering your life. You are, in fact, maybe bringing a curse upon yourself. A lot of us were abused by those who were entrusted because we were told they were people of God. A lot of abuses that were passed down, all because, all to ensure that you maintain that culture of silence. You don't talk about them. If you do, we have seen many times where so many of these abuses or these abusers turned around to accuse all these young children, all of us young then, accused us of being possessed. And all of these are social conditioning. Then you watched how they started making all of the horrible things happening, like people losing their jobs, like people falling sick, and they couldn't explain what actually happened to them or how they died, right? They started linking them with what? Spiritual, evil this, evil that. Nothing to put in our head that there's something called medical. Today, you will see grown-up men and women, educated men and women, they will be arguing so passionately of what their religion told them about what evil people can do, how they can take your destiny, how they can make you poor, how they can make you sick, how they can stop you from growing up, how they can make you barren, how they can make you somebody single for life. They started associating all these normal things that are social, social happenings, so to say. They started linking them to imaginary spirits. And to this day, a lot of you who are watching me right now, I don't think I will be able to win the argument with you, right? If I tell you that, especially if you are in Nigeria, if I tell you that 99% of the problems you are facing right now in your life right now emanated from the government of Nigeria, the criminals in Nigeria, I bet that's not what your pastor told you. That is not what your spiritualist told you. You know the remaining 1% of the problems in your life, that is yours. But you will not agree, would you? Am I am from Ijebu. And don't tell me about Ogun, Abenugogo. Of course. But I will repeat it to you again. So gradually, as they conditioned people, we saw adults discussing supposed serious medical problems in a spiritual term. Somebody has, for example, somebody has diabetes. Somebody is diabetic, okay? Because of lack of a proper medical care, or should I say, healthcare system in Nigeria, somebody who is diabetic, you know that if you should have any wound, that may be a wound that's going to kill you because it may not heal, okay? Because you are diabetic. Being diabetic can actually blind you. You can suddenly go blind. You can go to bed last night and wake up this morning and you are blind. Your sight is almost gone. Being diabetic. When you are diabetic, you can also suffer high blood pressure, hypertension, because you are diabetic. Sure you get? Because you are diabetic, you can suffer arthritis, whereby you can suddenly be unable to walk again. That's because you are diabetic. All of these are medical researches that When people who are even diabetic, they don't even know they are diabetic until all other symptoms start showing up. There is no money to get medical care. We watched adults discussing supposed serious medical issue in a spiritual term. There is a man in Ile-Ife. They say that Baba is very strong. They say when we get to that Baba, all the people behind what is going on with Mama Lagbaja, they said the man will fix everything. They said if we go to Orioke Kosheunti, there is this Ogbologbo pastor there. All of these things, they will fix everything. Let us go to Ilorin. When we go to Ilorin, I promise you, you see this, there's my neighbor. She was fighting over land. Her land, they wanted to take her land from her. Oh, there's this my neighbor. They told her not to bury her father. They told her not to do a party. Oh, there's this my friend. They told her not to do birthday party. She did birthday party. My people, suddenly, she just go blind. Now Ilorin, we took her to Ilorin. There is this big affair in Ilorin. She suddenly regained her sight. Somebody suffering depression. Depression, serious one. Now they have mental, episode. And they said, when my friend ran mad, now this pastor for Ajangbadi, we took her to, they didn't take her to the hospital. I grew up in that kind of environment. I grew up seeing adults discussing what should have been serious medical, what have you. Cancer that you are hearing today, thank God there are so much information about cancer. There are a lot of people who suddenly, they say they don't know what is going on. They said he marched on something. Since that time, he has been coughing blood. He has been going thin. We don't know. They said they poisoned him. Meanwhile, they were dying of cancer, different kind of cancer. They said they dropped something inside her bra. You know that woman? Let us fear this word, though. You know that woman that is selling orange at the Sunday market? That woman, if you see her, her breast has gone rotten. If you my God, if we need to fear these evil people. They said na her husband girlfriends. Now them just took her bra. They took her bra to one babalawo. The babalawo do something. They took her bra to pastor. They took her bra to one imamu or afar, and they do something to the bra. Man, her breast started there. It started going rotten. Somebody suffering from breast cancer. I grew up where people were discussing things they were so ignorant of, and guess those who are diagnosing them? Religious people. And that was the genesis of some of us, my generation, that you see today, that when they talk about voodoo and the rest of them, they talk about them with fear. And you will see somebody, he will dress like a proper lunatic, a full bed sheet on his head, okay? Some rosaries, 1 million rosary, round all over his body, carrying lantern, carry a madman. And he will be telling people that, I can quickly turn you to a madman right now. That he has the power to make you run mad. Religion. My people became, when the politicians, when they pushed my people, they pushed them straight into the hands, or in the hands of the religious criminals in Nigeria. And they groomed us to fear what we can't see or explain. People who have a stillbirth due to poor health condition or what have you. They said, they have killed their daughter again. Every time she gives birth like this, she will die. Now the evil people, they don't want her to have any children. There is no medical examination, there is nothing. And there are many of you watching me right now that somehow, there is this conflict in your mind. that should you agree with Mayegun or Mayegun is just talking nonsense? Abi, you are conflicted in your mind because that is how you are conditioned. A lot of us are like that. And I can tell you this for free. If your own social conditioning, religious conditioning and fear that came from the failure of government in Nigeria that sent people looking for succor, looking for something like, just anything that can be alternative to the frustration that they are facing. And they found that in religion. And in religion lies the fear that will always keep you coming. You are not praying, you are not prayerful enough. That's why you are poor. You are not prayerful enough. That's why you don't have a child. You are not godly enough. That is why you don't have a job. Your parents must have sinned, the sin of your forefathers. That is why your life is pretty much like stagnant. Some people from your village, they don't want anybody from your village to be successful. Okay? And because you want to be successful from your village people are holding your destiny. And that is why currently you can't explain your life. How do you get out of that? 7 days fasting and prayer. And in the process, a lot of you have accepted, right? What you believe will take you out of wherever you are right now in Nigeria. And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. So the moment you begin to separate government and government responsibility from your faith, and you stop allowing them to manipulate you, and you don't get offended because of how anybody, whatever anyone does with a religion or not. If your religion says you should kill somebody, then that your religion is not a religion. And I am not sorry to tell you that. Do you want me to repeat that? If you have a faith or any religion, whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian or you are a Babalawo or Mamalawo or Hindu or any other religion at all, if your faith says that you have to kill and attack people because they offend your faith, Baba, you don't get faith anywhere. You are a terrorist. And as for you, the Northerners, who are famous for threatening people because of your own kind of Islam, listen to me very well. You are going to be in for something very, very, very long. You know why? You are currently dealing with a generation. They call them Gen Z. Some of these old ideas, some of this old fear, they are no longer appealing to them. Of course, it may be a matter of time. But are you pretending that you are not noticing? You cannot continue to threaten everyone because of your religion. You are not the only Muslims alive in this world. And listen, of course, for now, you may currently be enjoying that in Nigeria. But trust me, the pushback that are coming, will run a lot of you out of town. And guess what? They are also part of what will eventually implode Nigeria. Your blasphemy law should at least cover corruption. And it should cover your criminal politicians. Show rage, anger. Tell them you want to be like Saudi Arabia. Force them to make you be like a UAE. So that you don't turn to Shekau that is willing to justify his faith and religion based on how many people he's been able to warn and punish and kill for Prophet Muhammad. There are other people worshiping Allah. There are others who also respect Muhammad. But if yours says you should kill somebody, trust me, those you are planning to kill, right? They will probably they will overwhelm you too very soon. And this old threat don't work anymore. They don't. And that is why a lot of people are actually throwing it back at you. If you haven't realized that yet, your jihad in northern Nigeria is being entertained and then sponsored by your terrorist leaders It is not because Christians in northern Nigeria and other people who are not Muslims in northern Nigeria, not because they can't fight you, but it's going to get to a stage that you will realize that you have no monopoly for violence. No, you don't. You know, as they say, enjoy it while it lasts. And for those of you who be jihadist wannabes in Yoruba land, I have a word for you. Don't do it. That's more than a word. Okay. 3 words for you. Don't do it. There is nothing that angers the real Yorubas than anybody to try to push Yoruba culture, tradition, and religion to the back burner. Nothing angers. See, you will be surprised that your fellow Muslim brother that you will think will support you when you bring this strange Arabian ideology to Yoruba land, it will be the first person to hold you down for the rest of us to beat you up. Along. You will never have that grace in Yoruba land. Of course, we know the threat. We know all of those you are paying. All kind of groups you are sponsoring. If you go to a part of Ibadan right now, they are convincing and converting some young people who have never actually done anything with their lives. I am talking about some of them still in school. They are now giving them money, telling them to start a growing beard, right? Reducing the size of their clothes, all right? Some of them who have no jobs, they are now encouraging them to go and marry 2 wives, 3 wives, 4 wives, right now in Ibadan or your state. So we have heard about you, we have heard about them, and of course, we will remind you that you are still in Yoruba land. Your Arabian idea, your jihadist idea, your violent Islam, it will never have a place in Yoruba land. And let me tell you something. If you want to start with Yoruba culture and tradition, it's been like that for a while, but you know what you met when that happened. Nothing unites the Yorubas than fighting to preserve our culture. From Ijebu to Ondo, from Ondo back to Egba, from Egba to Oyo, and from Oyo to Ekiti, and to Osun, where you have Ile-Ife, the source. We will remind you, okay, that your Islam, your, your Muhammad and the rest, they are not more important or more powerful in any way or more relevant than the Yoruba culture and Yoruba tradition. We will remind you. We will not kind of let you import this alimajirism, although it's already been kind of imported through the politics and all that. But I can tell you this for free. Even the Yoruba politicians that are going to collect the money and promote this fanaticism, these ideas in Yoruba land, they will tell you, they will come back and tell you that, you know what, they will be the sacrifice. We will use them as sacrifice, or sacrificial lamb to our gods in Yoruba land. And guess those who are going to party there? Yoruba Muslims, Yoruba Christians, and Yorubas who don't have any religion at all. Because you cannot come for Yoruba tradition and culture and expect, whether violently, whether by trick, you can't come for something that has existed before your Arabian imported religion. No, you're not going to do that. And I have seen it already. A lot of us are smart enough, okay, to read the room. And in case if you don't know, okay, the Saraki family Olushola Saraki, the father to Bukola Saraki, is dead. Bukola Saraki, the son to Olushola Saraki, his father became rich, very rich, by going to Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, this is kind of hard, Abi. Saraki family, their original name is not Saraki, and their original origin is not from Kwara. They are originally from Abeokuta in Ogun State. But when Olushola Saraki, the father to Bukola, became, when he was born, he saw something. I mean, he was born in Ilorin, so to say, yeah? He saw something, he saw an opportunity. He was raised as a Muslim, right? And guess what? As a Muslim, he could use his Yoruba background in a way, right, to make some money, being a Muslim. So what did he do? From the time of Olushola Saraki, Saudi Arabia opened their first liaison officer in Nigeria, where the mission was to convert as many Yorubas to Muslim as possible through sponsoring of Islamic programs, schools, and all that. So Saraki became so famous and very rich, doing that he even became a politician as well. Like I told you, religion, politics, politicians, policies, and the people. Now all in one. If you are smart enough, none of them has anything to do with God. So you are actually the pawn. They are actually trading. Olushola Saraki was collecting millions and millions of Saudi Arabia riyad when money was still very much valuable. Saraki will come to Nigeria, share some of this money to different mosques. And in fact, he will build mosques for them in Ilorin, in Kwara, and outside Kwara. So when he became a politician, it was an easy win. He gave them food, he gave them money. So who are they going to vote for? Somebody who is doing good and giving them money? Saudi Arabia money. Saraki got elected as a lawmaker. In fact, he even became the leader of the National Assembly of Nigeria at a point. All of this running on the background of Islam and, being generous. You remember Arishekola in Ibadan? They were doing the similar thing. But the difference was that as Arishekola was collecting the money from the Arabian countries, promising them that they are spreading Islam in, and they actually did spread Islam. These two individuals, with the money they got from Saudi Arabia, God knows how many mosques they built in Yoruba land before they died. How many are fast? It got to a stage, so many of these mosques in Yoruba land, they would have to send Afars from Ilorin. These Afars will go from Ilorin, they will go to all these newly built mosques with Saudi Arabia money. A spread of Islam. None of this actually brought any sort of a development per se, but like I said, this is not an attack on your faith. If you see it as an attack on your faith anyway, I have no apology for you or nothing to say than to continue what I'm saying already. Now, you see this Saraki and gang, they never promoted anything development per se, human capital development. No. It's about alimajirism, handout. Alimajirism, handout. That's what they promoted in Yoruba land. But yet, they still never succeeded in destroying Yoruba culture. They couldn't. You can't. So this same Saraki and their family and the rest of them, today they are now like, we don't know if they are Fulani or if they are Yoruba anymore. They've denied every route that actually linked them to Yoruba, and they would rather claim northern Nigeria when it's convenient for them. politically. So it's not new that you are, if today you begin to see some other people that you are giving money to come and promote all this strange ideology, the one that will make Yorubas that are speaking Yoruba, to look at Yoruba culture and tradition and say they must be wiped out. We've done the damages already. So how far did that go with us? I mean, for us. Today, that same Nigeria, where you have all of this, they call them powerful mullah, powerful sheikh, powerful pastor, powerful bishop, rich and powerful billionaires, religious entrepreneurs, pastorpreneurs. We call them pastorpreneurs. You have them everywhere in a country that you have millions of people living in poverty, in fear, and the criminal politicians who are indeed the architect of all of this, they are sleeping and they are snoring because they have peace. Because the people are not complaining. Rather than them to complain, they are hoping on God. Inshallah, vibe, and inshallah. So they fight for God and they live their own fight for God. I haven't seen anything like that in my life. They said to protest is haram. Ladies and gentlemen, stealing is not haram. Boko Haram is not haram. Kidnapping is not haram. So something is definitely wrong. So we have those you are giving the money to, and we have a message to tell you, okay? You can spend all your money. It's not new. As you are doing that, we will ensure that we promote and we continue to promote that Yoruba tradition and culture, everything that has to do with it. Now, like never before. We are happy that we have a Gen Z. The Gen Z, that no longer believe that the reason why they are poor is because they are sinners. They don't believe in that bullshit anymore. They no longer believe in that your nonsense. That maybe because they are not praying enough. That is why Nigeria is what Nigeria is. All of this, your religious fear, they are no longer working on them. What you are yet to witness is that the day you, the mob, the murderers, the jihadists, the Muhammadans who want to kill people to prove your loyalty to Muhammad, one day you will rise in that Nigeria and you will actually get what you deserve. Maybe it's going to be from Yoruba land, and Yoruba should be on alert, right? The worst thing they can do in Yoruba land is for Yoruba to kill Yoruba because of Arabian religion or because of Abrahamic religion. That is the worst that can ever happen to Yoruba land. I mean, to Yoruba people in Yoruba land. And that will never happen. Once they start their madness, you should always remind them, if you want to fight for your Muhammad, and you are willing to kill somebody for that your Muhammad, or you want to fight for that your God, or for that your Jesus or anything at all, listen to me. If you want to kill for your Muhammad, you should go to Saudi Arabia, where they born Muhammad. You will not kill Yorubas to prove a point of your religion. And you know what that means, It simply means that if Saudi Arabia is far, then relocate to northern Nigeria, where your idea and ideology, your toxicity, is very much tolerated. It won't last. It won't. Because what is all this violence per se? What is all this telling people that they should respect their religion? Share madini. So if I disrespect you or do something that you feel like is disrespecting your religion, so the next thing is violence. Somebody said that online lower only sorrow. I'm actually telling you the same thing. Nigeria lower. Enjoy it while it lasts. It doesn't take much. We're now in the era of social media. Okay? It doesn't take much for people to actually rise up when they are compelled to. And listen, you have stones, you have matches, you have petrol, you have people that are armless and then a sort of a vulnerable. You rush them into secluded area and you mob them. Is that not the mode of operation, eh? Then people will be ready for you too. Now, when you are willing to go and stone people, and they're actually ready for you, then you begin to get served in the same plate. You see all this nonsense of threats, because of your religion. Like Shemadini, Muhammad died there over 2,000 years ago. So you want to kill somebody in Yoruba land, for example, because of Muhammad, Shomadini, you want to prove something to who? To Muhammad, Omar de Saudi. If that happened in Yoruba land, if your own Islam push you to that stage, Ama fear tutuni, we will encourage people. Toma fear tutu. You don't understand. So that's the point, that the madness that they are importing down southern Nigeria. Let me tell you something. The other day, there was this guy who said something. Moses Fadipe, don't tell me to move on. I'm actually presenting my program, okay? Don't tell me to move on. You don't know what I want to say. You don't even know what I'm going to say next. So how do you mean by I should move on? That I should stop talking about it? Show madini. Move on from what? African Wahala. Kilotimpe or princess, who is there? Any of you who have the spanner, get rid of that bollock. Quickly. Move on. So make I not offend people, Abi, so that you don't want me to offend people. You don't want me to say something that will get you uncomfortable. Show madini. You have no idea of what I'm going to say. You only can move on. Move on to where? Emi Atiela Johnson program ni. What do you call it? African Wahala. Get rid of that bollock. Monson koto serious lowo. Talon full advice. I don't need your advice. Mo fe rant. I want to rant. You dey tell me to move on. Move on to where? Ibola John Law. Moses. Mabami, no. Don't support me that way. If you are bored the way I'm doing it, you can move on. I have seen things, and I know what this simply means. I have seen some of these brainwashed idiots. They have no idea of what they're actually playing with. You tell me to move on. Move on, Losibo. There is this guy. In this way, they're like trying to do all this religious baiting, plant them here and there. They will make them look like they don't exist. It's nothing. But the end result is that you're going to see some misguided idiots that will actually repeat the same thing in Yoruba land. And guess what? A lot of people will be like, no, it's not going to happen. You better start sending them the warning. If your children is going to Ilekeu and they are telling him that he has to fight for Muhammad, he has to fight for any Allah in Yoruba land, you better warn your children. You should just consider that, oh, Lomo. Because we have seen them already. There is this guy. This guy is not born poor. Sure you get. If you go to this part of Enugu, there's this part of Enugu where you have those who are Muslims. They have been there for a while. Sure you get. And in fact, they consider themselves as Muslim or Igbo Muslims. They exist. But you know something? Despite the fact that they have existed for a very long time, anger people, something. Please tell me the name of those, the people. I can't remember the name. I read it somewhere and I've been following them since. But I can't remember the name. They have been there for decades. Not that they started yesterday or 8 years ago. They are actually Igbos who practices Islam. They do Ileya, they do Ramadan, they do all those things. But you see those who are sort of outspoken among them, those known as like our fast. Sure, you get like, you know, they are cleric and all that. You are Muslims in a supposed Christian-dominated region, Eastern Nigeria. You've never been attacked. You've never been threatened. Nobody has ever done anything to you. But the moment Makawhy came to power, those who are leading them there, they started presenting themselves as what do you call it, as victims, that they are now targets. IPOB is targeting us. The Igbos, they don't like us. Our fellow Igbos, they hate us because we are Muslims. They want to kill us because we are Muslims. This last 8 years of Makawhy divisive government, that was when I came across them. So one of them is famous on Twitter. Sure you get. It's like somebody saying Abdul Shuku, Abdul Shinyere, or Ifeanyi Karim, or make I see other name like that. No, they didn't do that. They just called themselves Abbas, Abdul Kadri Shukuka, instead of Abdul Shuku. This guy is popular on Twitter, right? And there is no time he actually posts anything other than to complain that they are endangered. And he was actually seeking the attention of the Islamic jihadist north, their elite. Maybe they will see him. This guy was not born poor. He came from a very nice, wealthy Igbo family. Sure you get, and he's a Muslim. He did something. He translated Al-Quran to Igbo. Nobody threatened him. Sure you get. But guess what? He has been presented himself as, you know, as a victim, apostle, because of what? God knows who he is targeting and which kind of money he is targeting. Now, one day, he said, he remembers something, a story that I want to share. And that story goes thus, that he needed that his laptop, when he was in school, his laptop broke. And he needed a new laptop. And he had no money. So he decided to approach the senator representing his senatorial district. So he traveled to Abuja from Enugu. He traveled to Abuja to go and see the senator that he needed a laptop. And he said, in that statement, he said, the senator rejected to help him because he is a Muslim. Are you listening? He said that senator from Enugu rejected his plea to buy a new laptop. And it is because he is a Muslim. What? What are you talking about? You can afford a laptop. People who actually knows him very well, they were like, you mad? How could you come and post this on Twitter? What do you want to achieve? If you ask a senator for a laptop and she didn't give you, what does that have to do with you are a Muslim or you are not a Muslim? What's this? I was just reading all the comments. I was like, God damn it, man. I can tell. Make yourself look like you are a target. Okay? And then when you gain sympathy, begin to set boundaries. Because it will become what they are doing is offending me. What you just said right now offends me. You know that. Say what? She will really yini. Munsoro lo offend you. Show madini. Kilo offend you. You know I'm a Muslim. What you just said right now, you know, is something that normally can cause problem. Abolori brukuni. Oya, let the problem start. Call your people. Oya, call your other Muslims. Say, I have insulted your Muhammad. Man, call my people. Abolori brukulele yini. Munsoro oni mo insult. That's how we are in Yoruba land. Nobody's going to run from you. Monsoro ni mo insult Muhammad. So kilo ma shele nsin. Wetin go happen now? You go get matches and what? You go kill me. Aye oni da. Is that not what will be? So the bottom line is that we know those who are trying to plant this in the people. And the purpose has nothing to do with religion. That religion they are talking about. That's what I want you to know. if your religion does not empathy, if your religion doesn't have sympathy, if your religion doesn't let you have humanity, or if your humanity, your empathy, your your sympathy or what have you, is determined by those who you think have any religion similarity with you, Olori Ibu, you cannot threaten us. You and your kind of Muhammad, they threaten anybody. Show madini. Same thing I told those ones that would tell me, Mayegun, I love your program so much, but our war is not kana. Kini we so war. You know what I'm trying to say, Mayegun, in Leviticus versus Kiniko. Kilo came at Leviticus. Odo Bolu Motiwa, I'm an Ijebuman. Kilo came ara Lefi. What's it concern me with ara Lefi? Why are you quoting Lefi for me? Kilo came at Leviticus. When I was telling them here, they'll come to me and say, man, this Mayegun is playing with fire. Ntori pe mi o accept Leviticus. Abi mi o accept Deuteronomy. Ati other things you believe in. So then, something must happen to me. I tackled them on this part. I told them, I said, if your God is the God that actually kill or destroy people you don't like, then you don't have any religion. Stop associating it with any religion. You are just a lunatic, okay, that can read Quran, or a lunatic that can read the Bible. And in my word, lunatics, they don't dictate anything. In my word. Because somebody can read Quran, Arabic, and start speaking Larubawa, language of Saudi Arabians. I am speaking English right now. It is the language of the English people. If you are speaking German, are you with me? Now, Germany, you understand German language. So, because you can read Quran, suddenly, because you can read Bible, and you can quote them, and you can begin to chant them, so that your God is a useless God. I call it the Sky Daddy. They used to come to my program. They come here all the time. Mayegun, watch your mouth. Mayegun, I don't want you to say anything about pastor. I say, abaye what pastor you run. Shall you what pastor if blue ni? If mad ni? I bet him mad already. Shall you get? After that, they just left me. They just left me. They are like, you. Some of them are waiting for their Sky Daddy to punish me because of what I said about their pastors. But up to this moment, instead of their Sky Daddy, they are still waiting. Don't worry, you will see. You will see that God, you don't insult prophet of God, Mayegun. Just ask for forgiveness. I say, ordenier. The purpose of religion in Nigeria is not to lead you to any salvation. It's to lead you into frustration and poverty. Honestly speaking, those who are smart, they are not, their life is not dictated by their faith. Those who are smart. For those of you who are clinging your life around this faith and that, you will say the truth when the time is right. So I told them, I said, "Aye, what pastor ever run? You know." So they are still waiting for their Sky Daddy to do something to me. And I said, if you, that is supposed to be a good person, after all they have fed you in your religion, is to look at me because you said, what Mayegun said, I don't like what Mayegun said. And I feel sorry for him. I just pray that God will not come and destroy him. Your God will destroy me because I have said something you don't like. Which kind of God is that? Have you ever asked yourselves? The one that they ask you to, they will buy warehouse, factories, and they will turn them to a prayer center. So when people become jobless, they go straight to the prayer center to go and pray for jobs. And they said, you don't say anything like that in the Bible. They said, do not say, nonsense, what is Sky Daddy, Because where I live, I don't think say the God is in the sky. Yeah, where I live, we don't believe that God is in the sky. We believe that God is omnipresent. And what is omnipresent? You. And if you want to know whether God exists or not, now for your heart, if that your heart in heart is filled with all the evil you can think of as a cover-up, Baba, you are a devil. And that is why they say God is a man, devil is a man. So you can see this one and say, man, oh my God, it was so lovely. It seems to be, it's like a blessing to us. It is so amazing. It radiates love. That's somebody who is godly. We know the lie. We know the, you know. Then they say, oh my God. If you want to see devil incarnate, it be like, see, this person self, no be blood, they in body. The way he's thinking, the vileness, his actions, you will think he has no heart. Maybe you have all those characters, don't you? So there is God in man, there is devil in man. None of them live in the sky or under the ground. None. So when you then point to the sky and say, you will see what people have told me that on Mayegun's Diary Politico, this deluded, confused, religious lunatics on Mayegun's Diary Politico. Imagine somebody telling me that except if he's not serving a living God. That's the way I've been seeing some of them. For somebody to be telling me that except if he is not serving a living God, that is when you are going to last 7 days. You, this Mayegun, go and ask about me. There are so many people who have dared me. I destroy them. All it's going to take me is just 3 days fasting and prayer. You, this Mayegun, 7 days fasting and prayer. I will ask God to shake it. I say, she weary. 7 days in a canton to dedicate 7 days to Mayegun. Baba, if you manage, this one is not prayer. If you manage to dedicate 3 days for your life, I swear, you will come back on the 4th day and you come and give Mayegun a gift and say, Mayegun, you changed my life. I thought I was going to punish you for 7 days. On the 4th day, I discovered my life that I have been a mad person. You healed me. Here is my thanksgiving. Here is my burnt offering. Oh, my took me last. People told me that years ago. A lot of them came back. You know one thing about them, the way I know that a lot of Nigerians are actually like, they are mad. Like, you know, unofficially mad. Is that one will come and say, this Mayegun better watch his mouth. You don't talk about pastors like that too. Or else all these things that you are all this attention you are getting on social media, they will just, you can run mad. They can even kill you in 7 days. They can even say, now so you fear all these criminal pastors, Rich. Even when me are in Nigeria, I don't fear them that much. Sure you get? I don't fear them. The moment from the period when they usually do their miracle, that fake miracle, where you had somebody where they said is blind, you know, Oyakilome. Pastor, yeah. Pastor, yeah, talk to me. Oh, there is a young man here. He has been blind from birth. He's never seen anything in his life. Pastor, talk to me. Oh, pastor is here. He gained his sight. He can see. Oh, hallelujah. You know those periods, though, I was still a young boy. I was like, wait me this. Person where them born, we never see in his life. Blind from birth. What is this? Green. Oh, what is this? Yellow. What is this? White, white. Person we never see in life, oh, he never see color. Pastor, yeah. Pastor, yeah. Talk to me. There is a man here. He has never walked in his life. He came here on a wheelchair. He's walking to the glory of God. Oh, hallelujah. Then the person will never walk in his life. Oh, never walk in his life. He go come carry wheelchair. Come they run on stage. Hallelujah. I say, waiting. That's what miracle be. They say God can heal anybody. Pastor, yeah, talk to me. This woman had cancer. And when you were praying, the cancer is gone. How did you do the test? 30 minutes. Now when I knew, say, these people are scammers. To make it worse, why I know they respect all those fear is that, do bolu. Now babalawo, we have babalawo, we have mamalawo, Olorisha, we have brother lawo, we have uncle lawo, daughter lawo day, son lawo wa. We have them there, and babalawo is kind of, like isheshe, traditional. So if I finish eating for where they do odorisha, where they don't kill a leather, pig, pork. And one thing is that if you chop orisha pork, orisha elede, babao, god damn it, man. Chai. Well, this was me, Rashidi. When they born me, I was a Christian. Midway, they sent me to Lekki. I became Alpha Rashid. I was Rashid. Later, they took me back to Sele, and it was not Sele, Keruba and Seraphu. You get, I went back to my old name, Sheyi Shola. But when I was growing up, I have to survive. And I have to survive around where I live. So whenever this festival, I know all the time we are doing all the festivals. Okay? So in fact, as a little kid back then, yeah, whenever we are reading this January, February, March, April, all these months in a year. So the Yoruba part of it is like, tells you the importance of Yoruba months and what happened in those months, okay? So for example, they say, Shere irele ereno, igbe obibi okudu, agemo ogun or wewe, or warabelu okwe. Like a song, as a kid. So when I finish eating where they are doing the orisha, with the very solid eba, I will go and play. When I finish running about, play football, do all of this, that one digests. We move to where they are doing Agbo. Agbo is another masquerade that, very, very lovely. Agbo, we'll go there, we'll chop whatever they have to offer. So that's for the day. If the following day, we are doing Odu Egungun that we normally do for 21 days, that one is like, long we share. You know where they say, that Yoruba proverb that said, Nkotonton, lodun egun, omola agba, shima pada lo fora kara. I'll tell you the English of it. Egungun masquerade is something that will eventually come to an end. And the son to the La Agba is like the head of Egungun festival or Egungun tradition or religion. So that La Agba is like bishop over Egungun. Because Odun Egungun always lasts long, sometimes 16 days, sometimes 21 days. And for those 21 days, now free food too. Morning to evening, morning to evening, morning to evening. But one day, all of that go hand. Everybody will have to go and buy food to eat. That's why they said that so Yorubas are so grounded, so rich, that if you are reading our months in a year, like I said, you will get to see the originality, our religion embedded in them. So when I finish eating, what did they call them? From the Orisha people, I will go and eat from the Egungun people. When those ones finish, I will go and read, eat the Lailatul Qadri, bread and tea. Because I have to be there. I am Rashid, remember? Abdul Rashid. and I can recite some section of Quran. Back then, oh, I have forgotten a lot of them now, unfortunately. Life happens, so don't blame me, okay? I can still recite a Fatiha, and that's the most important one, Fatiha, and I can pray. Abi? But nevertheless, back then, when I finished from all those places, I go join them for like Latuli Kodri. Sure you get, I go chop. When they finish there, when they are doing Ikore for Sele, I know they go Sele. In fact, Sele, I was a bit kind of afraid of Sele back then because the way they were doing, I was like, oh, man, this one's bad. Or like, this one's spiritual. As a kid, but I will still go there and chop. Ikore. When they are doing Ikore, when they are doing Ikore Omode, Ikore Agba, Ikore Okunrin, Ikore Obirin, Ikore diaspora, Ikore local, I go there. I know all the churches in Odogbolu. That was how I grew up. Now, growing up that way, I also saw the beginning of Pentecostal churches spreading in Nigeria. I was born in that generation. So I started seeing those who were like bringing up different churches, Winners Chapel, Four Square, this one, that one, in Odogbolu. And they always remind me of what my mom told me. When my mom was telling me about churches when I was a little boy, my mother was talking about a church called Church Lekki. They said there was a church where all they do is cry. Sure you get Church Lekki. When they are praying, they cry. Now I realized that as Yorubas, that was so strange to us, or to my parents' generation, that they called them Church Lekki. It was when the Pentecostal came that I realized that it was partly Pentecostal way of praying and crying that my mother called Church Lekki, the crying people, the crying church. That why would I go to church and be crying? That was what my mom said then. So as a little boy, I never saw Church Lekki until Pentecostal came. So when people are praying, Father, please, oh Lord. I'm like, why are they crying? Like, why are they crying? Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, this is what my mom said, though. Like, I was a little boy. Don't blame me. Again, don't blame me. I practice all religion. So I would just be like, oh, she's crying. Then later I started seeing, and now because of waiting man go chop too true, but then they feed me with the food of faith, the food of God, faith, and other food too. Then they started making this and I'm like, what's he saying? And I don't like not understanding something people are saying. So when you go to Sele or CNS, they have their languages that you just be like, Alore, some of them like that, yeah? Now, the reason why I'm telling you all of this, my background, is because you will look at me and you will think I am one of those people you see on social media who suddenly want to start sounding woke. No, I'm not one of them. I'm an old man. I'm beginning to be an old man now, okay? When I was growing up in Odogbolu, now we babalawo for Odogbolu, now we they do aworo for your pastors from Lagos, from Ibadan, from everywhere they come from. They will come to Odogbolu, my hometown. They will buy cow. And as a little boy, I know one or two things. I can still remember one or two things that we have to do if you want to do a waro for your church, where you are going to be reciting Genesis verse this, Genesis 13 verse kinikon, where you are going to be performing miracle, where you're going to be calling Jesus, Jesus. I am from Odogbolu, don't forget to. Sometimes they will have to send me and some of my friends to go and show your pastor the kind of a way, the kind of a leaf he will need to go and pluck, because for that thing to work, he will need to pluck them with his own hand. He has to take them by his hand. We can't take them for him. We were virgin. We're virgins. We're little boy virgins. So that's why we're so useful too. They can send us to do things because we were virgins. So if to say I become Abrahamic religionist, whether I become an Afa or I become a pastor, right now I can begin to use my own testimony to say God delivered me. Because I was a devil's son. God deliver. And all of you will shout, hallelujah, praise God. I thank God for your life. God is so wonderful. Pastor Mayegun, every time you tell us that story of how God delivered you, I always praise God for your life, Pastor Mayegun. And I was just like, it's okay. If God can deliver me, he can deliver you too. Just give me your money. Just give me your money. If you want God that delivered me to deliver you, come here. Let me pray for you. Story. That's why I don't have respect for your pastors. I'm sorry. Nothing they do actually freaks me. But I kind of love them when they don't do that theatrical impression. When they preach, I love preaching. I love people who kind of are able to infuse what their faith and then all this, what have you, they infuse them into teaching people about something. Okay? Not passing fear to them. I love listening to pastors too. I just don't like it when they begin to play on your own intelligence, when they begin to play on your humanity, trying to manipulate you, using that same as, hey, Agbeni, stop there. So yeah, we're in. You don't go far, Baba. I don't be your customer. Look at me very well. I be Mayegun, I'm not your customer. We'll talk man to man now. So I witness all of that. That's why they don't freak me. You're afar. It was in Odo Bolu that I saw afar. Suppose that afar, that call people elebo. Ilorin afar. He get glass, he get mirror. When they take check it in, they say afar. Let me check me will life me. Afar, ejo, oja mi o lo dede. I am no longer selling well. Afar, what do you think I can do? They are in Odo Bolu. And now them too, they are all over Ijebu, by the way. Now them too will be going about alangba. Again, don't blame me. I was just a little kid. Because at some point, I had to go and kill alangba for some affairs. Sure you get? Alangba is lizard. You know that lizard with red head? Akolodogbu. And now afar, I've seen, from afar, and I saw where they burn them to lebu. And they use the lebu for God knows what. But me, I was just a little kid. And they will pay, Afar will give us money. Afar will call us and say, say, kuri kan say. Lock my ball. Go and call me all your friends that you are playing. Come here. So then we will negotiate. Afar, how much are you going to give? Because Yahweh Afar also said food. So we'll come back. Yahweh Afar, when we say if you kill up to 30, Afar will give you 10 naira. Yahweh Afar will give you yam and egg. Yam and beans. So they'll give us yam and beans. We'll take yam and beans. Me, anyone where I kill, if I don't kill up to 30, at least I will still collect yam and beans. Now the same people will be telling you that Afar, I grew up around them. I know them very well. No dogbolu. You see, I keep telling you dogbolu. I want to tell you Lori Shalosudu. That river, that stream that you saw the women who are practicing their own religion, that they got attacked in Ilorin, in Odogbolu, will they follow them go? You will see all these girls. Now there you go see some of the girls you like, your schoolmates, when they come school with you, and you don't hire them like say, because now that time, as little kids, as young as we were, that was when we were going to see them in their purity, in their pureness. They will carry all the calabash. They will tie the white wrapper, and they will form a long queue. They are going to the river. We go follow them. Because when they come back, and they start all the party, okay, and they start serving the food, you just don't want to miss any of that. That's how I grew up. And that is why, if I am talking to you about religion, I am talking from experience. It never serves anybody's interest whenever they try to hold the public to ransom based on a certain teaching. It doesn't exist. If you go to the same Ilorin, Alpha Ilorin in their Emirates, Alpha's wife, money. You say, she's selling agbomo, ironio. If you go inside, it's not just agbomo that she's selling. Oh, she's also selling pots. She's selling other things. Lekuleja. She's selling egg. She's selling things that they will use for rituals. The same Yoruba ritual. Oh, they do that in Ilorin. But the hypocrite, to tell you that they love their Muhammad and other nonsense they postulate, they want to show off like that. Nigbao. So you get. So it goes both ways. Do not let any of them use your faith, your religion to manipulate you. When you look at those who use them, all they wanted is to spread fear. And when you are scared, there are other things they get away with, including bad government. These guys were threatening people that if they don't vote for a Muslim in the past election, there will be war. We saw that. And then they turn around, they said, oh, Islamophobia, Islam, in Italian wine. So the ideal thing is that if they cannot be angry with their criminal leaders, with the poverty all over Nigeria, if they can't be angry with their criminal leaders over corruption, looting, and all those vices, they can go to hell in their fake rage against Davido. I'll leave it at that. I've got more for you tonight. Do you know that Lagos State government that denied that nobody died at Lekki toll gate, they are about to secretly bury 103 corpses, the children of people they killed, Nigerians, young people they killed 3 years ago. They want to bury them in a secret grave. There was an NSAS panel. The families of these people, they attended the panel. They pleaded with the state government to release all their corpses to them, to go and bury them. The Lagos State government denied them. Today, they want to use 61.2 million naira to bury 103 bodies from NSAS. I lay in my heart. I don't think you want to miss it. Meanwhile, Kolu also said that if there is going to be any rerun, Peter Obi must not be part of it. It should be him and Atiku only. Again, you don't want to miss it. I'll see you then. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o, kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ o, làwa bá mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Mayegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lérí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.